Hello everyone, welcome to the Buzz the Prey Manga. Today we continue the latest Global Freeze chapter, rewritten and edited by me in English for a smooth reading experience. All visuals and story flow are personally edited to give you the best manga style storytelling. Support the original creator by checking the official manga. So let's dive right into the today's chapter.
Chapter 2737 Above the Rules 1. Munihi looked down at Yang Xinshin inside the maze, as if watching a good show. He particularly enjoys watching these so-called clever geniuses go from initial confidence to later tension, and finally to despair. However, Yang Xinshin's reaction was very calm. Or perhaps she was quite disappointed with Munihi's abilities. She didn't move an inch, nor did she look for the so-called maze exit. He slowly spoke. I already know your rules. The information you deliberately told me is an obligation I, as the game organizer, must abide by. Isn't that right? Actually, no matter what you do, you will control everything within your maze. In other words, if you choose to join your maze game, you are bound to lose. Munihi's eyes flickered, and he thought to himself, how clever. He then laughed and said, You're right. It's the duty of a power user to tell you the rules of the game. As you know, for a power user with rule-based abilities, the greater the restrictions, the stronger their abilities. He finished speaking and spread his hands. So, how do you break this deadlock? Even if you want to play this game, you're already in it. Not necessarily, Yang Xinshin said calmly. Behind her, black mist surged, and the enormous fallen angel puppet directly pulled the judgment longsword in its hand. Munihi raised an eyebrow and agreed. This is his territory. Even if he wanted to use the Judgment Chieftain to change the rules of the area and make the maze in one part of the area ineffective, it would also affect the entire maze. The maze can self-repair and its terrain changes periodically. But the next moment, the Hersher's arrow of the fallen puppet did not shoot towards the labyrinth. Instead, it suddenly turned the arrow around and aimed at the hourglass floating on Yang Xinshin's shoulder. What do you want to do? A hint of panic crept into Munihi's voice. That's the embodiment of rules. Attacking it will result in a backlash. No matter how you play the maze game, you'll fall into your trap, so I choose to participate in your maze game. Since we've already solved the problem, let's get rid of the person who said it. Or, let's tear the exam paper up. Yang Xinshin said coldly. Whoosh. The jet-black arrow shot directly at the hourglass on Yang Xinshin's shoulder that was touchable. I can reset the rules on top of your rules. Your rule is to get out of the maze before the hourglass runs out. So, how about making the hourglass run out forever? Snap. Before the words were even finished, the hourglass that symbolized the countdown to death was hit directly by the arrow. Meme viruses rule implantation. Yang Xinshin can change the underlying logic of the world, let alone this tiny hourglass. You, forever still, forever flowing. The hourglass trembled violently, the fine sand inside still flowing, but from the perspective of the rules, its self-awareness had changed to flowing away forever. Munihi never expected that there would be such a way to break the deadlock. Buzz, buzz, buzz. The hourglass began to shake violently because of the intense conflict between never running out of sand and running out of sand at a fixed time, then triggering the maze's erasure rule. Under such intense clash of rules, the underlying logic has clearly collapsed completely. Bang! The end result was that the hourglass shattered on the spot. As the hourglass shattered, the entire maze space echoed with the sound of breaking glass, and countless cracks spread across the sky. Damn it! This is possible. The rules of the world have been broken just like that. In the real world, Munihi screamed, knelt down, covered his head, and bled from all 7 orifices. His rules were forcibly broken, and his spirit suffered a devastating backlash. In just 3 seconds, the battle was over. The war between rule-based systems is a contest of the application of rules. In other words, it's a battle of wits. Clearly, Yang Xinshin won decisively. Yang Xinshin coldly looked at the defeated man at her feet. I originally had some expectations for you, thinking I had met an interesting opponent. But you actually used such a trash game to fight me? Did you pay for your superpower index? Muna almost spat out a mouthful of blood. This was the greatest humiliation for a proud rule-based ability user. Yang Xinshin raised her fair and delicate hand, and the fallen puppet stretched out its long leg. I hereby declare the game over. The most crucial and thrilling battlefield is located 10,000 meters in the air. Jang E alone faced off against the 4 leaders. This is the true central battlefield that will determine the fate of East Asia. Jang E stood with his sword, and the 4 powerful figures did not separate. They joined forces to fight him. If he unleashes that terrifying killing move, Azure Sky, in an instant, he can at most kill one of us instantly, but he himself will be weakened for a period of time. The 3 of us immediately acted and joined forces to kill him. Although he can predict the future, we play our cards openly. We use any fancy abilities to crush him with overwhelming power. The 4 had already devised their fighting strategy, and their eyes were filled with resolute ruthlessness. They knew that someone would die in this battle. Perhaps 1 or more of the 3 would perish. Even if all 4 of them die in battle, Jang E must be killed. Because Jang E's growth rate is too fast, if he is allowed to continue growing like this, sooner or later the 4 major clans will end up like the Zeepan Kingdom. Since you're the youngest here, you should make the first move. Langdell, the leader of the Fongwolf clan, was the first to launch an attack. As the fastest assassin, a dead gray light shot out from his single eye. Eyes of astonishment, absolute stillness. This move has an extremely short cooldown, but its effect is incredibly powerful. The target being targeted will have their mind and body frozen for 1 second. The moment Jang E was stared at by his gaze, the blood in his body stopped flowing, his breath stopped, and everything except his thoughts ceased to function. The opportunity is here. With a sinister grin, Randall transformed into a black lightning bolt, his scimitar slashing out a full 1,000 times in 0.1 seconds. Flowing 1,000 blades. The dense flashes of blades wove a cage of death, each strike aimed at Jang E's vitals, completely engulfing the still, yet moving figure. Die! This is absolute speed. A second passed. Time resumed its flow. Randall sheathed his sword, stood up, and turned back with a confident look on his face, anticipating the sight of Jang E being torn to pieces. Jang E lowered his eyelids and murmured, the eye of astonishment. Can it be controlled for even a second? It is indeed a very troublesome ability. Then it is definitely possible to be stared at by his gaze. He suddenly laughed. That's simple, isn't it? After all, your second hand can see me for 5 seconds. Chapter 2738 Above the Rules 2. Time is indeed absolute, but human intention is not. Jang E was confident in this battle. Although he couldn't know the 4 people's intentions in advance, he could use this second hand of time to see through the enemy's attack methods and obtain information during the battle. In 5 seconds, when top-level masters clash, life and death can be decided. Just as Randall decided to unleash his eye of astonishment on Jang E once again. You seem to be a little slow. A detached voice, like a ghost, sounded behind Randall. Randall's fur stood on end instantly, and an unprecedented chill ran straight to his soul. Jang E had somehow appeared behind, a circle of complex silver runes slowly reversing in his eyes. The second hand of time. I saw the scene 5 seconds into the future. 3 seconds before you decided to activate the bong, I had already left that position. Jang E raised his hand, and the space around him collapsed, with black energy gathering on the Sword of Judgment and Eternity. You're fast, but in front of the Prophet, you're as slow as a tortoise.
Die. Boom.
A terrifying dark sword light slammed directly into Randall's back. The Dark Realm Flow, with its absolutely powerful attack, struck Randall in the back. As expected of the Wolf King, who values self-cultivation and possesses a strong spirit, Randall concentrated his alien energy on his back at the critical moment and forcibly withstood the attack. But S' body was still violently blasted away, letting out a muffled groan, and a mouthful of blood spurted from the corner of S' mouth. Randall. The other 3 leaders were terrified. At this moment, Jang E was near them, But what surprised the three of them the most was how Jang E had appeared behind Randall so silently. We've all seen space travel before. During the process of traveling, there's an action that opens a dimensional gate. Although this time is extremely short, a skilled person would definitely give an early warning. But this time, Jang Yi's teleportation had absolutely no time interval. They vaguely sensed that some things were already beyond their control. Jang E, and during the All Races conference, a significant change occurred. Vishnu, who was watching the battle, suddenly widened his eyes, his gaze flashing with dark light. Could it be? No way. No way. We've reached the limits of the super-universe so quickly. Those in the know might not understand what Jang Yi's attack meant, but for Vishnu, who possessed the Black Knight level of combat, it was crystal clear. Indra asked with some surprise, "Super-universe? What kind of quantity is that?" Vishnu lowered his head, looked at May deeply, and then said in a deep voice, "It's about the same as what you got from the moon. But this guy's control over this power far surpasses yours." Emperor Shurji still didn't quite understand and continued to ask for details. Vishnu watched the battle while explaining it to the demon. "You should have understood something a long time ago. The energy in this world all comes from the energy that Kaga detonated the singularity of the universe, as well as the ether fragments that came out and reside in every intelligent being. The source of energy is ether, so no matter how many different kinds of people there are in this world, they will eventually converge and walk on similar paths. Flame, ice, storm, time and space. The further we go on the path, the closer we get to it. And the hyperverse signifies the realization of one's own potential, leading it towards the transformation of ultimate rules. From flames to burning, from ice to freezing everything, from storms to controlling spatial particles, from using space-time to mastering space-time. Simply put, it's a qualitative change, a transformation towards the most primordial and most powerful force. Those dragons once used a term to describe this quantity, which they called Tao. We call it super-universe. This means having the qualification to transcend the fundamental rules of the universe and touch upon the primordial laws. Vishnu narrowed his eyes, which were occupied by 3 serpent heads. And this is also the most important threshold that transcends the knight level and reaches the queen level. Strange, so strange. Even for us ancient races with a complete historical heritage, without exceptional talent and great opportunities, it would be difficult to take this step. But it only took less than 10 years. Chaos. What kind of experiences has this guy gone through, and who is guiding him from behind? Vishnu kept muttering to himself, unable to hide the shock in his heart. Indra fell silent, thinking that he was on the moon and had received the blessing of the Samel. The little bit of pride he had felt earlier dissipated considerably. On the battlefield, Jang E used the formless realm to teleport and attack Langdell, causing a huge shock to the 4 of them. The combat tactics that we imagine Jang E would use are, first, to display a myriad of phenomena, and then to use space teleportation as a means of displacement to launch a surprise attack, carrying out a one-time kill in an instant. But to everyone's surprise, Jang Yi's entire body has already been upgraded. It has reached another dimension. Attack together. Don't give them a chance to breathe. The leader of the tribe, Manhwa, roared, and his 6 wings suddenly unfurled. Those enormous wings, hundreds of meters long, were transparent and light, fluttering in the atmosphere as if floating. When the wings of the creature flapped, beams of brilliant white light shot up, attracting sunlight from the universe thousands of meters above the ground. From a cosmic perspective, you would see a gigantic prism forming in the air, distorting light and creating a giant lens that twists and converges a large amount of sunlight heading towards Earth. Divine skill. Starry sky prism. In the atmosphere, countless transparent air prisms instantly condense and take shape. They are not for refracting rainbows, but for focusing them. I gathered all the sunlight from within 100 miles into a single point, and after being layered and compressed by tens of thousands of prisms, it finally formed a pure white pillar of light with a diameter of over 100 meters in the sky above the sea. The sun is simple and unpretentious in its methods, yet incredibly powerful. The tribe are masters of harnessing the power of nature. The surrounding air was instantly heated to tens of thousands of degrees, and even the steel on many tall buildings began to melt. This is your funeral, the hammer of the sun.
Boom.
The beam of light, containing an ultra-high temperature of over 100,000 degrees Celsius, hurtled straight toward Jang E with a destructive force.
Alright, that's it for today's chapter. Tell me in the comments which part you enjoyed the most. If you love manga style stories, don't forget to like the video and subscribe the Buzz Play Manga. See you in the next chapter with more surprises. Thank you.